Rick Strum just like ran into the studio and gave us an update on a sports story that I actually didn't know about, but I'm interested in it, so I want to do it now.
Well, take us, what happened in the first part of the story?
Wayne Simmons is a player for the Philadelphia Flyers now, is formerly the Los Angeles Kings, a black player in the National Hockey League. It was one of my, I almost did intentionally, one of my favorite things is when you see somebody who's black and like the overly political correct thing, like when you're in Italy and you see a black person and say, well, look at that African American. They're not, they're from Italy.
Right.
So Wayne Simmons is actually from Canada. So he's an African Canadian.
And I believe it's Canadian American.
That's exactly what it is, yeah. Same thing. Anyway, Wayne Simmons was last week in an exhibition game, the preseason games in hockey, was skating down doing a penalty shot, which is just the player on the goalie. It's a rare thing in hockey. It's a one-on-one shot. And some fan in the crowd in London, Ontario, threw a banana peel in front of him, which sent people aghast. And he was very cool about it. He said, listen, I grew up playing hockey. I'm black, and any black person in the world, any Canadian American, would know that you face these things, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. Cut to this week, and though I haven't seen this footage or heard anything about it except for Rick Strom from the sports department, who just came running in, said
it was a Flyers Rangers preseason game, a heated one. There was fighting.
This is a rivalry.
In a hockey game?
Yeah, I know. And it's a big rivalry. Big
rivalry. And exhibition games, preseason games are always marked by fighting, and then the same way the playoff games have none. But they got into a fight, and apparently Sean Avery. Wayne Simmons called Sean Avery a faggot, I guess.
That's what we're inferring. It's only because no one will say it,
right?
Because you have to figure. But homophobic slur.
As Rick Strom said,
right.
He was less specific than we were, and very euphemistic. So what happened was that it brings up the issue here. That Wayne Simmons called Sean Avery a faggot. Sean Avery, who made his public mark on politics and came out and supported gay marriage in New York this year, the gay marriage amendment in New York this year, as a public figure in New York, a professional athlete. Rare that you see that. As Ben mentioned before, just a handful of them came out to support those issues, and so he was called that. And Sean Avery said, Ben, what did he say?
Sean Avery said that first of all, he reported that this was what was said to him, and the league was said to be on it and investigating it. But Avery said something interesting because he pointed out that, hey, look, man, 10 years ago. Because obviously this thing gets said, I think, in the NHL pretty much every game. And he was saying it might have been a big deal, it might have been no big deal 10 years ago, but it matters now, pointing out that something needs to be done. And he wasn't saying, like, throw Wayne Simmons out of the league. He was just pointing out that this got said. And Simmons said, essentially, hey, didn't deny it. He said, hey, look, I said some things I probably shouldn't have during the fight. He said some things he probably shouldn't have during the fight, although not inferring that Sean Avery said anything racist, just that they were insulting each other.
Yeah, and Sean Avery is one of the big insulters of hockey. It should be noted. It should be noted that he is one of the people that has gotten in trouble, suspended repeatedly, actually, for saying things that he should not say.
But interesting that Wayne Simmons, moments after this, gets caught up in this, and Avery saying, I think, it's a totally legitimate thing, which is that, yeah, we probably let that go 10 years ago, but we can't let it go anymore.
Yeah. Would you say that the same is true of the rap industry? Because, we recently did a story, I don't remember who called who that word, right? But, rappers will call one another that, and then all of a sudden it becomes a huge media story. And before, I feel like it was almost deemed acceptable, and it was just not a big deal. But now you see more and more people getting criticized and put on blast for that. So.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah, just don't say that
word. Don't say it. It's
Yeah.
Because you mean something hostile with it. And, and then the word will get used by gay people only, and then it's fine. And
unless you're talking about a bundle of sticks.
Unless you're talking about a bundle of okay.